One of the most famous ancient Maya sculptures is, without a doubt, this relief sculpture of a queen known as Lady K'abal Xook. It depicts the queen performing an important ritual that linked her to the gods and to her husband, Itzamnaaj Bahlam III, or King Shield Jaguar, all done to project and maintain royal power and authority at Yaxchilán. This sculpture highlights the significant role of women in shaping political and ritual power. Yaxchilán was a powerful Maya city-state situated on the Usumacinta River in Chiapas, in southeastern Mexico bordering Guatemala. This sculpture, now known as Lintel 25, was originally attached to a structure on the main plaza of the city, although it's currently housed in the British Museum in London. Yaxchilán is famous for its high-quality relief carvings, such as this one. The sculpture shows Lady Xook wearing fabulous textiles and jewelry. She has layers of clothes, including a knotted cloth at her waist. The large blouse she wears has floral designs that have been carefully carved. Large, voluminous sleeves hang from her outstretched arms. Carvings like this one help illustrate how elite Maya women may have dressed. Clothes like this don't survive today, mainly due to the hot, humid weather in the region where she lived. She also wears jade ornaments, including wrist cuffs, ear flares, and a necklace. These all communicate her high status because jade was a luxurious material. On her head, she also wears an elaborate headdress, complete with long tail feathers from the resplendent quetzal that arc downward. Interestingly, Lady Xook fills less space in this composition than another figure. Lady Xook is pressed into the bottom right corner, tilting her head back in an uncomfortable position to look up at a giant serpent form that coils its way in an S shape up the composition from the bottom left. This creature has two heads, one at the top and another at the bottom. Triangular patterns on its body recall the patterning of snakeskin. The figure also exhibits centipede-like features, including a segmented body. From the maw, or mouth, of this fantastic creature's upper head, a figure emerges dressed as a warrior. He has a human face, a large headdress and ear ornaments, and holds a spear and shield. A mask is in front of his face, though the artist shows it off his face, almost like an X-ray view. Who is this figure? Some have identified it as Shield Jaguar III, Lady Xook's husband. Others think it may be an ancestor. Still, he's dressed like an important local deity at Yaxchilán. His spear points down toward Lady Xook, once again leading our eye back to her. What exactly is going on here? Something Lady Xook holds is key to answering this question. In one of her outstretched hands, she has a bowl filled with paper splattered with droplets of blood. Another bowl sits nearby with more bloodied paper and bloodletting tools. We see her in the act of bloodletting on another relief sculpture from the same building at Yaxchilán. To let blood, she pierced her tongue with something sharp and passed a thorny rope through it. The blood was collected on paper and then burned. This is the moment we observe on Lintel 25. From the smoke, the serpent seems to rise. The serpent-like figure may represent curling tendrils of smoke even. Bloodletting was a sacred act. It fed and cared for the gods because they needed these precious offerings as repayment for creating the world and humans. These rituals allowed people like Lady Xook to access the supernatural world. Her offering of her own blood calls forth the vision she experiences here, which we often refer to as a Vision Serpent. It allows her access to the warrior figure emerging from the serpent's maw. At the top of the scene are glyphs, or Maya writing. The glyphs mention the conjuring Lady Xook is performing. One glyph shows a human hand grabbing a fish, and it means to summon. Think about it, a fish is slippery and hard to catch in your hands, just like trying to conjure or summon the gods. The sculptor also used doubling in the design, repeating bowls, matched headdresses, and even centipede segments in the snake and in Lady Xook's own headdress. These decorative doubles lead our eyes around the entire scene and connect the two figures, suggesting their important relationship to one another. The lintel might appear to be bare limestone today, but it was once painted. Traces of Maya blue remain on her clothes, the bowl, and other areas. The color may not have highlighted individual figures since it appeared on many parts of the design. Maya blue is a brilliant blue-green color favored by the Maya for textiles, architecture, ceramics, and murals. It had symbolic associations, such as with the rain deity and fertility, so perhaps its use over the sculpture added more ritual or symbolic value, versus trying to pick out specific parts. Today you can see the sculpture hanging on a wall in the British Museum, but that's not how a person would have experienced it originally. As its name suggests, Lintel 25 was once above a doorway as a lintel in a building we now call Structure 23, a building dedicated to Lady Xook. A lintel is a horizontal beam that spans an opening and sits atop two vertical support posts. To see this lintel, people would have had to bend their heads back, similar to how we see Lady Xook in the sculpture, actually. It begs the question of what its purpose was, since standing in an uncomfortable position inside a door frame is not exactly an ideal position to look at such a complex image for long. 3 doorways accessed Structure 23 at Yaxchilán, each topped with a lintel depicting Lady Xook performing ritual acts, including her piercing her tongue alongside her husband, the Vision Serpent, and her holding out a war helmet to her husband. All 3 lintels were made between 723 and 726. Lintel 25 was above the central doorway. As glyphs note, it shows an event that occurred in the earlier year of 681, and this was the year Shield Jaguar ascended to the throne, and he needed to defend the city against its rivals. At that time, Yaxchilán had just regained power after a long period of decline. Warfare was common among Maya city-states because there was no one center of power. Each city controlled a region and formed alliances with other cities to access resources and defend against rival powers. This series of lintels featuring Lady Xook connected the Queen of Yaxchilán and her husband to the gods, showing they had divine support for future battles. Her act of bloodletting was to incur the gods' good favor. So she was not just supporting her husband, she was strengthening the whole city. Images of Yaxchilán queens after Lady Xook, such as this stela of Lady Xook, adapt the image of Lady Xook seeing a Vision Serpent. Why? Like Lady Xook, to visually show women's important role in shaping political and ritual power at Yaxchilán.